Well, hey friends, this is Jennifer, and this is the Jennifer Allwood Show, the podcast for women who want to find freedom in both their life and in their business. I own a multi-7-figure-a-year coaching business. I'm also a certified life coach. So I have the honor of helping thousands of women every single month make money in the online space and help them to get unstuck from whatever is holding them back, all without sacrificing their faith or their family. In this show, you're going to get the very best life and business advice, always with a healthy dose of Jesus. So buckle in, my friend. I'm so excited that you are here. Hey you, it's Jennifer. Welcome back to the podcast. This is podcast episode 351. I just want to give you just a little bit of update on some earlier episodes that I did about Chat GPT and getting verified on Instagram or Meta. I feel like I got to say it in like a Thurston Howell voice. Meta verification. So I just want to kind of give you an update on two things that I've already done podcast episodes on. Okay. And just right off the top, I want you to know that this podcast episode is brought to you by Good Ranchers. Go to goodranchers.com and use the code GEN20 to get $20 off your order if you would like to have American meat delivered. Oh my gosh, I just love that. American meat delivered. So that's goodranchers.com. The code is GEN20. So back in January on episode number 328, if you want to Google it, I did a podcast on Chat GPT. It was literally like 10 minutes old. Well, not 10 minutes old. It was 10 minutes into people going crazy over it. The truth is it was actually like 5 years old or something. And I did a podcast episode on how you can go to OpenAI, that stands for Open Artificial Intelligence.com, to help you to do things like write a post for social media, write an email, write a landing page. And it's interesting because now we're into April. So we're maybe 3 months into people using Chat GPT, to using AI. And I think that it's interesting because there was so much controversy at first. I was actually a little bit surprised about how many people were freaking out about, does this mean we're just all headed to heck in a handbasket because people are using this? Are people's jobs going to be completely, eliminated? It was just, let me just say, it was just interesting what people were making assumptions on, I guess, or just freaking out a little bit. I know that Elon Musk has, he has done some co-founding with the firm behind ChatGPT. He's made statements. Mark Zuckerberg has made statements. People are concerned, is AI going to take over the world? And the truth is like, I don't know, right? I don't know. And I see Gary Vee and he does a post and he's like, listen, all of you knuckleheads, and he said it in a different way. If you know Gary Vee, he doesn't say knuckleheads. You're basically worried about what's going to happen 5-10 years from now, but you don't have your bleep together like today in the here and now. Like you're worried about stuff, you're worried about bleep in his words. That's 10 years down the road when I can't get you to just do like the basic minimum to grow your business today. And I thought that was just a really great perspective. I know that I did get a DM this week that I wanted to read to you because we actually have a free download. It's at jenniferallwood.com/chatgpt. It's just like a little starter guide. So go to jenniferallwood.com/chatgpt, as in Gary Peter Thomas. Okay. And so I did get a DM that I was going to read to you from a lady who did get our free guide. And she messaged me on Instagram this week and she said, okay, so this was so scary, but amazing. Here's what she said. I just had ChatGPT write 4 2,000-word articles, and it only took it 5 minutes to do it, something that would have taken me days to do. And the really scary part is that all of those articles were really well written and very engaging. Is this going to make human writers redundant? And let me just say, I honestly don't know. Possibly. I mean, in a way, it's almost like, how now when you go to Target, at least at our Target, and don't DM me about Target. All right. I know how liberal they are. Okay. Also, I refuse to go into a Walmart unless I absolutely have to because the spiritual oppression in Walmart, I can't do it. I can't do it. So if the options are Walmart and Target, it's Target 100% of the time for me. Okay. So just know that. Yes, I know they're liberal. I know they had, shared bathrooms for boys and girls. I know. I am well aware. But also, if we boycott every single company that is out of alignment with our beliefs, like literally, well, there'll be no companies left to support. Okay. So can I just say that? I think we have to use some wisdom. Target is one I'm not willing to get away from. So you remember when Target went to getting rid of a lot of the people that take care of the checkouts, and they just did it all automated. Now everything's self-checkout. First of all, I hate it. I literally, when I spend money, I would like for you to make it easy for me. I don't want to scan my own stuff. Can I just say that? Also, why do I always get something weird? Like Ari wants to buy a Robux gift card, and then I got to call over somebody that works for Target anyway. So for the love, can you just see me coming and just open up, a regular line where you check me out? That would be great, Target. Can I just say that? But, I think that when we look at, is this going to make human writers redundant? It might be like one of those Target things. That now, when I go to Target, I see a lot of self-checkout, but also a combination of there's still people doing checkout also. I think that there will be some writing jobs that probably will get eliminated along the way. And also, this is just how the world works and just how life goes. So what will happen is the cream will raise to the top. In other words, if you're somebody who, you do writing, copywriting, et cetera, for a living, like, don't freak out about how technology is about to eliminate things. I mean, find some freaking workarounds. Find what's going to make you better than a computer. What'll make you better than a computer that can do it for you? The human interaction, the humanization piece, the fact that there are some people that still want to work with a real live human instead of a computer. So, like, don't just, throw the baby out with the bathwater and well, there goes my job. No, like, stop. Okay, so here's what the writer said to me. She said, but gosh, I can see how this is going to save me such a huge amount of time. I don't know if I should feel guilty using a robot to write articles for me. Somehow it feels kind of icky. Any thoughts on how I can inject my own personality? And what my response back to her was, just use whatever Chat GPT gives you as a starting point. Like, use it as a launching pad. You can edit it. We call it Jenniferizing things. And by the way, we're not using Chat GPT for everything. So please don't think that when you get an email from me that it's from Chat GPT, because the majority of the time it's not. But I also am wise enough to know that I need to stay on top of this for all of my clients. And I need to be very aware of what's happening in the marketplace. Hey friends, so I got to tell you, Jason and I are absolutely loving our meat deliveries from Good Ranchers. And I want to tell you all about it because I think it's such a wild world that we live in, that we literally have the ability to have amazing, healthy, fabulous meat boxes delivered directly to our door. I mean, what kind of a world do we live in, right? And so go to goodranchers.com and get subscribed today for a meat delivery. And if you subscribe and use my code, which is Jen20, that's JEN20, you do get $20 off of your subscription, and you do get free bacon for a year. Okay, right now, for real, you do get Applewood smoked bacon free, not once, not twice, but in every box for a whole year. And so if you're interested at all at trying out Good Ranchers, is a really great time to do it. Don't forget to use the code Jen20 and go to goodranchers.com. The American meat delivered. And so you can use it just as a launching pad to write an email for your business. And then you can change it. You can Jenniferize it, or you can Susieize it, or you can Julieize it to however it needs to sound, so it sounds more like you. By the way, though, did you also know that you can just ask GPT? Thank you for that 2,000 word article. Now make it spicier. Now make it more sarcastic. Now make it funnier, and it will rewrite it and eventually learn to sound more like your voice. I mean, it is scary and also fascinating at the same time. So use Chat GPT as a first draft. Beware that it's not always factually accurate. And this is kind of, the direction that the world is going in. You don't have to like it, but you just do have to be aware of it. It is going to present other opportunities for people. There will be somebody who develops softwares. I believe they're already in process of figuring out how do we make sure that, Ava's essay for her freshman class right now was written by Ava Allwood and not Chat GPT. There's going to be softwares that you can run things through. It'll be okay. So I just want you to know, if you're freaking out about artificial intelligence, if you're freaking out about the direction the world is moving in, I think that it is wise for us to be aware. That doesn't mean you have to partake. Okay. Doesn't mean you have to partake. Like, if you feel really strongly against using anything that has to do with AI, then don't. But if you're someone who's like, okay, I'd like to just kind of mess with it, then do and see what happens. All right. So I wanted to tell you about that. Again, you can go to jenniferallwood.com/chat GPT to get like our starter guide. This is for those of you who are like, what in the heck are you even talking about? What I'm talking about is your job being made easier by having software write social media posts for you, write emails for you, write your landing page for you when you're trying to sell your first VRBO listing. I actually did go to it one day. I was going to do a post on Bougie in the Desert, our house in Arizona. And I asked Chat GPT to write me a post about seeing wild horses in Arizona to get more people to rent our Airbnb. It's fascinating, you guys, because you read it and you're like, oh man, wow, they're really good. They're a lot better than me. So then I Jenniferized it and I posted that stuff to the glory of God. All right. So that's my update on Chat GPT. Stop freaking out. Use it as much or as little as you want. But do understand that if you have children, this is going to be a part of their new normal. If you have kids, you need to know how some things work. Those of you who are like, you know what, I don't want to be on Snapchat. I don't want to know anything about, listen, you've got kids. You got to know some things about some things, not for you, but because you have children and they're going to need some directing and direction. Okay. So there's that. All right. Second thing I wanted to talk to you about today is meta verification. If you're like, Jen, what are you talking about? So basically, Zuckerberg and his pals come out and said, hey, now you can pay to get verified on like your Facebook personal profile and your Instagram account. I was only interested in getting verified for my Instagram account. Okay, well, why would you want to get verified, Jen? Well, there's a lot of different reasons that I wanted to get verified, and I did get verified. And what I'm going to give you is a little bit of an update on, I think, what has transpired since I got verified. Okay. So the truth is, and I said this on the other podcast episode that I did, and I don't have the number right in front of me. But that I have been verified on Facebook for 8, maybe 10 years. I literally just woke up one day. There was no application for verification. There was no, paying for it. One day I woke up, I had probably 200,000 followers at the time, and I have a blue check behind my name. Bada boom, bada bing, baby. I was excited. Whoop, whoop. How'd that happen? I don't know. But on Instagram, you've been able to apply for verification for years. And I've applied so many times. I also did a podcast episode where I tried to pay a rando. Jason and I love this word. A rando is like a random person on the internet. So I paid some rando to try to verify me because I used to get so many of those DMs that would be like, hey, it looks like your account has great content. Have you ever thought about trying to get verified? And one day I finally took this guy up on it and went ahead and paid him knowing full good well I was probably about to get scammed. You'll have to go listen to the entire episode on it. I'll put it in the show notes on what episode that is. But basically, like, I paid him. I did get scammed and I knew that I was just going to be wasting that money, but I wanted to see what happened for all of my clients. I like testing things so you guys don't have to. If you're in one of my coaching groups, you know this. We try to keep you updated on what's happening on social media so that you don't have to. Okay, you don't have to test. So anyhow, when Meta comes out with the fact that now you can just pay to get verified, I'm like, baby, sign me up. So Instagram is $14.99 to apply for verification. You do it through your Instagram settings. It told me like, hey, it's going to take about 2 days to do it or whatever. It took me and for them to get back to me, and they were back. Like, I was verified within 10 minutes. So now when you go to Jennifer Allwood on Instagram, there's a blue check behind it. I did not verify Jennifer Allwood home, and I did not verify Bougie on the beach or Bougie in the desert. I just didn't feel like I needed to at this juncture. So $14.99 a month. The problem some people have with it is I don't want to give them a copy of my driver's license because you either have to submit, it has to be some sort of a government issued ID. So pictures of your passport or pictures of your driver's license. There are some people that did not want to do that. Listen, I don't care. That sounds awful, doesn't it? I believe that we have already given Meta and or iPhone and or whatever powers it be so much access to our life. I believe that the Alexa hears everything that I say. Siri's probably recording everything that I say. I believe that, I watched, was it called Snowden? Was that the video? or was that the movie about the guy that was basically saying we were being watched through the cameras on our computer? I don't know if that's true or not, but all I know is we live in a world where we've given a whole lot of access already. When you got your iPhone, when you got your Android, you basically pushed buttons that was like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. Everybody's freaking out over TikTok. Listen, there's balloons over our countries, folks. Okay. They're already gathering intel. They already know that you're talking about getting new gutters on your house. That's why you're getting all the Facebook ads now for gutters on your house. They already know that you were talking about your thyroid issues today, and that's why now you're seeing all these sponsored posts on social media for your thyroid issues. So if you think that just by sending them a driver's license that you are even more susceptible, I just tend to disagree. I just do. And so for me, it was not a big deal. But again, if you're like, I am not comfortable, then don't do it. It's kind of like in the Bible when they talk about, was it Paul that said, listen, if you feel like you shouldn't be eating meat, then don't eat meat. Like, it's okay, but don't shame others who are eating meat. And if you feel like you can eat meat or you shouldn't eat meat, like, I can't remember which example I just used, like, whatever you're going to do, eat meat or not meat, do it. It's okay. But be okay with the others doing the other thing too. Live by your personal convictions. My personal conviction is that as soon as Meta was available in the US, baby, I was on it. Now, here's what I would say. Since getting Meta verified, number one, I feel like a rock star. I've been commenting on other people's posts more. Do you want to know why? Because whenever I see somebody's post, let me tell you a new person that I love following on Instagram, by the way. Let's just take her for an example. It's Molly the Mom. Okay. So Molly the Mom is very similar to that lady named Celeste Barber. Molly the Mom is hilarious. She basically takes videos that other people do on the internet and she does them in her own, just typical mom girl next door style. And they are hysterical. Okay. So, I have like literally been commenting on people's things because now I have a blue check behind my name. And for some reason, I like seeing the comments with a blue check behind my name. It was like this thing that eluded me for all these years. I tried all these applications and I never did it. By the way, whenever I look then at, let's say, one of Molly the Mom's videos, what I always look for and read are the other people who are verified, their comments. I don't know why. It's something psychological. You can't tell me there's nothing psychological about a blue check, because there is. It's psychological. It's psychological. Okay. And so I read their comments first, and I wonder if anybody reads my comments more because I have a blue check. I don't know. We'll never know that, right? But here's what I do know. Before verification, how many of you guys were pitched by somebody pretending to be me, who started a spam account? It's not that I got hacked. Remember, it's just that 9 million people are starting fake Jennifer Allwood accounts, and they're spelling it Jennifer Allwood with 2 R's in Jennifer, or they're spelling it Jennifer Allwood 7 or Jennifer Allwood _backup. And what they're doing is they take my pictures, and they do this. It's not just to me. They do this to a lot of people with big accounts. They do it to a lot of people with small accounts. They pretend to be you. They take pictures of even like your kids, which is so gross. And they put that on this new Jennifer Allwood account, so it looks like you. And then they start sending DMs to all of your followers. And then they start trying to sell all of your followers like Bitcoin or something. It's so gross. You guys, since I've gotten verified, not one of you has told me that a spammer or a scammer has sent you a DM and that there's a new account impersonating me. Not one. I've been verified, I think, for 2-ish, 3-ish weeks. Not one. Now, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but I'm saying that, praise God, it hasn't happened for a couple of weeks. And so I don't know. Is it because I'm verified? I'm going to hope yes. I'm going to hope that yes, it's because I got verified, that it's cutting down on those spam and those gross accounts, because it is so gross to see my kids' photos on somebody else's Instagram account that's trying to look like me. It makes me feel yucky. Steal my photos if you want. Don't steal my kids' pictures. Those are my babies. I will come at you like a spider monkey. So I'm happy about that. So if any of you have been on the fence about meta verification, if you are somebody who gets a lot of impersonator accounts, a lot of copycat accounts, and it grosses you out, hey, for $14.99 a month, I'm trying it. And so far, we're going to call this a win. So that's the update on Chat GPT and Instagram verification. If this gave you any valuable information at all, do me a solid, send it to 2 business friends that you have, 2 business buddies, send it to them. You know somebody who's thinking about getting verified on Instagram. You know somebody who has a business account on Instagram, send it to them. And that's how this podcast gets more listeners. And that's how, we're making a living. So thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you guys today. Be blessed. I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Friend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. I'm so honored that you come back for every episode and that you share the Jennifer Allwood Show with your friends and family. Every time I see you guys post about it on Instagram or Facebook or something, it just makes me do a little happy. So thank you. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast if you never want to miss an episode. So you can go to Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Spotify or any of the other podcasting places and subscribe each week so that every week you get the new episode when it releases. So just know that I love bringing you relevant content. I love bringing you great guests. And one of the ways you can help us here at Team Allwood is by leaving the podcast a review. So if you have just a second to do that, would you go over and leave a review for the Jennifer Allwood Show? Thank you again. You're amazing. I'm honored to be here. Until next week. Bye-bye.